Hi, this is John with Performance Plus Tennis. Welcome to our continuing series on developing the professional technique of Roger Federer's one-handed backhand. In our two previous videos, I covered first the footwork and how you want to glide and keep your rhythm and your balance along the baseline. And in the second video, I presented how the left hand really is the dominant feature in the one-handed backhand. And today we're going to present to you how the power and control is developed after the left hand releases the racket, and where that power and control really comes from so you can develop your one-handed backhand into a professional quality weapon. So once the left hand releases the racket, what do you want to feel and what do you want to make happen to really produce a great backhand? And what you want to feel here is that when you release the racket, the heel of the racket is generally going to be facing the ball or facing the net. So the racket head itself is directly behind the hand. It could be a little further, but it's certainly not going to be less. We really want to feel like we set that racket so it's dropping into the slot of power and it's approaching the ball with the heel of the racket, really driving forward. And then as you move to play the ball, the racket head is going to catch up with the hand because the internal rotation of the shoulder is going to accelerate that racket to catch up with the hand. And it's that movement that really creates the racket head speed behind and through the ball. So as you're coming onto the ball, it's so essential that you are approaching with the heel coming first and then releasing and then rotating through the shoulder to get to contact. Okay? So when you're coming in here and you're about to release the racket, the right shoulder, or my playing shoulder, has already started to take over as the left hand releases, so that there's momentum and there's power that's already being created. And then once it releases, it drives and then catches up to contact. And the contact point will vary a little bit depending on what your grip is. For more extreme grips on the eastern side or beyond, the contact point will need to be further in front. As the grip approaches more of a traditional Eastern grip, the contact point will be a little more neutral. And if you were ever to try this with more towards a Continental, then the contact point would even get closer to you. But of course, that's not really happening in the modern game, and I certainly don't recommend that. So let's make sure you have a good traditional Eastern backhand grip where your palm of your hand is really right on top of the handle. So your index finger knuckle is really right on top with the palm. And that gives you the strength and the grip to really play the right contact, okay? So what happens into and through contact? This is the topspin backhand, so we're going to want to be going from low to high, and what do you want to feel when you're making the shot? Well, when you're coming in and your shoulder has rotated the racket in, now the shoulder is going to rotate upward, so that the racket head is going to come from below the hand as it's approaching, and it's going to come onto the ball, and it's going to end up being above the hand, okay? That movement is from the internal rotation of the shoulder. It is not from the wrist. There are coaches out there that advocate trying to use your wrist to flick or flip or something to get power and spin on the ball, but I can assure you that's not really where the power originates. The wrist can have movement, particularly at the end of the stroke, which we'll get to, but through the hitting zone, you want to feel like it's all shoulder rotation and drive. So you're extending and you're driving out towards your target as that left hand holds your counterbalance. The wrist can release, but it's going to release long after the ball has left your racket. So what you really want to feel when you're working on this, again, is total control with the left hand to start your preparation. And then when you get to the bottom and you release, the right shoulder's already starting to take it. It's heel to the ball, racket face to the ball, and internal shoulder rotation. And that will give you the blend of power and control that you're seeking to develop a professional quality backhand. Finally, in this segment, we're going to present how to complete the shot with your feet and how to exit the shot with balance and rhythm. And I find this is something that is very rarely discussed and often misunderstood. So this is really going to help you play through the shot professionally and get back in control of the court with a beautiful balance and a beautiful rhythm. So once you've played through the shot and you've driven through and you've lifted up through, let the weight just fall back on the left leg if you're a right-handed player, and that is your balance to push you off. So what you don't want to do, which is common you see, is players try to hit here and then freeze and then push off the right leg to go back to the control of the court. But you'll find as you get a more confident and fluid movement that you're producing, you're going to want to come to that back foot and push off, okay? So you play the shot by moving forward, stepping in, playing through, and then let the left foot just take the weight, balance you, and recover. And that way you can play in and out of the backhand with one fluid, balanced, rhythmic movement. I hope you really enjoyed and benefited from this mini-series on the one-handed backhand, and that these concepts and principles will help you develop your backhand into a professional quality weapon. For more information, please visit my website, performanceplustennis.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel as I have many new videos coming out in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you.